Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Allegro. Thank you so much for coming back to watch yet another video. And if you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel and also engage with us in the comment section. I love reading your comments. I love responding, and I just love getting the feedback from you guys on each and every video. And I'm so grateful to have the time to continue to share some of my content with you. And I'm pretty excited about today's video because I just came, like literally, I just come from Pretoria, where I was actually invited to the SONA 2021 Youth Imbizo, which is basically a debrief of the president's address that was last week on the 11th of February. And this was the youth's take on the state of the nation address and the issues that were covered, and basically how we feel about certain issues, including gender-based violence, poverty in the country, unemployment, entrepreneurship, and what the government can do for South Africans as well as the South African youth. So obviously I was talking on the state of entrepreneurship in our country, and there were some very interesting points that were raised and questions that were asked that I just wanted to summarize it for you guys in case you missed it. But basically in the president's address, he did mention that priority is been given to SMEs during this time to actually drive our economy in the right direction. Over 1 trillion rand is set to be raised over the next 5 years and invested in small businesses, small to medium businesses in the country, because they do realize that entrepreneurs such as myself who are running small enterprises, medium enterprises, need all the support that we can get, especially during a global pandemic. There's so many companies that have closed down, so many businesses that have had to retrench, and some of those don't even think that they're going to be back up and open once things do get better. Hopefully, that is what we're all hoping for. Businesses that have been around for years, not even just small to medium businesses, but large corporations that really had it bad because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's been a struggle for entrepreneurship. And I raised the point that, when you're passionate about being an entrepreneur and you want to excel at being an entrepreneur, you need to have certain resources and funding. It's a lot easier, I would say, to start a business with no funding, but it's almost close to impossible to scale it without funding. When you want to grow your business, when you want to scale it, when you want to hire more people and help in alleviating poverty and creating more jobs, you can't do that when you're still at the same position you were 3-4 years ago when you started the company. You need funding, you need the extra help from the government. That's what we need as entrepreneurs in this country. And the promises are there, the commitments are there, and we can only hope that those commitments are honored. We can only hope that our leaders, the president and his cabinet, actually honor the commitments that have been made to entrepreneurs in the country, because at the end of the day, we are the ones they look to drive our economy to greener pastures, avoiding all sorts of recessions, avoiding poverty and joblessness, and just a whole bunch of things that all play a role in the state that our economy will be at after the pandemic. We don't know where we will be, but we're hoping for the best, and we're hoping to keep our businesses running so we can retain, clients, we can retain staff. That means retaining people that are working for you, that are taking care of their families, and also just thinking of ways during this global pandemic to further excel your business, or start new businesses. I know that there is a lot of, negative things that are happening right now, but I've also seen massive opportunities. I've also seen, people create businesses in the middle of a pandemic. I started a new business in the middle of a pandemic myself, so there are also certain opportunities that do arise in the middle of the mess that we're in, and you should not overlook those simply because, it doesn't look like there's hope for a better future. Because this year's theme actually for the SONA address by the president was to grow South Africa, and also just looking at the commitments that the previous that have been made in previous years. So the country is focusing on growing South Africa. That seems repetitive. The president, and our leaders are focused on, growing South Africa, and, a big part of that is economy. A big part of that is making sure that graduates are getting jobs, making sure that young people are flourishing in their businesses, that they get the help that they need from all sorts of government entities, such as your NYDAs, etc. Making sure that information that young people need is readily available for them, to actually inquire and learn and grow and start new businesses without feeling intimidated and without feeling that there's not enough support, because it's already a daunting feeling, when you're going into entrepreneurship and you don't know what to expect, and that, the money doesn't come in overnight, the success doesn't come in overnight, but you really want to do it. Now, it would be so much better if our government, our leaders could meet us halfway. That way we know we're on the right track. We've got the support, and, should things get tough, our government is there. And I don't take for granted, what they've done thus far, especially during the pandemic, where, the president and his cabinet really came to the party. They have their faults, there's so many loopholes here and there that we could all sit at home and say they could have done better here and there, but there have been, decisions that were made in our favor as the people of South Africa and as entrepreneurs, and some industries didn't like them, some industries did. I guess we can't all win at the same time, but I mean, the funds that were being raised, the grants that were being made available, there was just so many things that were just decided on right then, because a pandemic decided to happen, and it must have been tough decisions, but they needed to, decide and what's better for the country and keep our best interests at heart. I'm still very hopeful. I'm a very hopeful citizen. I'm a very hopeful person in general, very optimistic. And I do believe that the more we voice our opinions, the more we voice our concerns and our frustrations, that our government will listen. They will come to the party, and if we don't speak up, then no one puts them in a corner to answer. No one puts them in a corner to actually see to it that they deliver on what they promise. It can't just be empty promises year in and year out. But at the same time, I always urge young South Africans and anyone who wants to get into entrepreneurship that don't wait for anybody else to invest in you first. Don't sit at home and tell me you have this great idea, this great opportunity, but you just don't have the funding, and you sit and you say, well, because I don't have the money, I'm not going to start. There are amazing success stories that I know of startup companies that were self-funded. I am one of those. I've been self-funded since the day I started my entrepreneurship journey. So there's absolutely no excuse, and like I said before, you will need money to scale. You'll need money to grow your business. You'll need money to, perhaps even diversify your business at some point. But to start, make no excuses. And I think the more questions we ask, the more digging we do as young people, the more, accountability we demand from our leaders, we're moving in the right direction. But if we keep quiet and all we ever do is just complain and not try to provide any solutions and not try to come to the party with, some bright ideas that we all know that we have, we're just not trying to dig them out of us. We all have a spark that, could just light up our future, all of our futures. In fact, the president mentioned that, we are going through a fire right now, but there are fire extinguishers in every industry. You could be that fire extinguisher in your community, in your family, in your industry. But it's up to you at the end of the day to say, what am I going to do in this situation? Things weren't really, really good during before the pandemic, and now it seems like they're getting worse. But what do I do now? Do I sit at home, twiddle my fingers, and just be on social media the whole day and just complaining and checking what's trending, whatever it is that you do on social media all day? Or do I try and educate myself? Do I try and have, the right conversations with my family, with my friends? Do I encourage other people around me to get up and go, to be movers and shakers, to play their part in making sure that we are headed in the right direction, not just individually, but as a society and as a nation, as South Africa? And that's something that I'm very, very passionate about: youth empowerment, entrepreneurship. And like I said, it starts with you. Our leaders, yes, they are there. We can hold them accountable, but they also can't do everything on their own. And of course, where they miss and where there is corruption, where there is the looting of funds that were supposed to come to the public, then we need to obviously raise our voices. We need to demand that justice be served, and we need to demand that we actually see those funds going to the right hands. But at the same time, don't just sit and wait for that to happen whenever that's going to happen. It's a process, it's a journey. We're going through it. And I'm glad that, there's also the spotlight on corruption during this time, because there's been a lot of corruption, especially in recent years, in private sector, in government. And it's gotten to a point where, as South African citizens, I believe myself, even as an individual, we're tired. Especially in a country where the poverty margins are, it's extreme. We would rather see that money go to the people that need it the most, going to young people, going to education, going to women empowerment entities, going to youth development funds. Just go to the right places. That's all we want. But yeah, that was basically a bit of my take on the entrepreneurship side and what my thoughts were on the president's State of the Nation address. But like I said, there were multiple topics covered, from poverty, gender-based violence, to also commitments that the government has committed to. And you can go to the government's website actually to actually just go through the president's State of the Nation address, and also the response to the SONA 2021 debate, and just educate yourself and know what is out there, what is being put in place. You can't just complain if you don't even know what the government is doing, or you don't know what is currently happening in our country. You need to stay informed and be a proactive citizen. So that is my take, and I just wanted to share that quickly with you guys, because I just come from the Youth Imbizo, like I mentioned, and I wanted to share my thoughts with you. So to all the entrepreneurs out there, all the best. I'm super excited about this year, despite that we are still within the pandemic and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. We are crossing fingers though with the vaccines coming through, and we hope that things will get better very soon. But in the meantime, I'm excited. There's just this new feeling of there's a newness in the air. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it's a new beginning, and I'm just ready to forge on and stay positive by all means necessary. Just stay positive and do the best that I can in my lane, and see the outcomes of all of that. And hopefully by the end of the year, when we do a recap of the year, we'll all share great news, and we'll just reflect on the year that has been 2021. So until then, let's keep it moving. And once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and also share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of the president's address. What are some of the issues that you want to see being tackled in South Africa as a young person, or just anything that really is a huge concern for you during this time. Voice it out and let's have a discussion, and I will chat to you guys in the next video. Bye.